Welcome to my new video on Chivalry 2 that will be talking about catapults, because catapults can be extremely useful in the maps that have them. It can be the difference between your team winning that objective or losing that objective if you use the catapult correctly and to its full potential. As you can see, it's me using a catapult here, and I'm not always going to be charging the catapult all the way because, well, you don't always need to shoot it all the way across the map. You don't always need to launch a rock all the way across the map, because most of the time you're not going to hit anything because there's going to be no one all the way across the map. And you got to make sure when you're charging it, you will see a weird ring thing that will like come off from the ground in the distance. That'll be where your things should be launching. It's a little hard to judge from that, so you just gotta use the catapult a lot, and you'll figure it out eventually. And if you really want to like practice using the catapult, you can always go in. You can always go in offline practice, and then go on, well, like Fall Alliance Spire, I think, map name. That you can go onto the Fall Alliance Spire because that map has 2 catapults in the very beginning, and if you really want to practice, you can go in there and just get adjusted to how the catapult works in the game, and like see how far the rocks launch. Every little bit you charge after the halfway point to where you can load the rocks, it'll go farther when you go charge all the way, but you don't need to charge all the way. You can go a little bit past that, and most of the time you only need to go a little bit past the charge, or even just to the halfway point of charging the catapult back. You only need to go about halfway, a little bit more than half. You usually don't need to go like 2/3 of the way, except from that fighting in the very beginning. So if you really want to use a catapult at the beginning of that and get a bunch of kills, you can, as soon as that starts, you just run off the side of the battle, get to the catapult, and then you might need to charge all the way. Depends on which team you're on. Alliance Spire, that should be good enough info to like, get you situated with figuring out how the catapult works. Obviously, it's not too hard to figure out. You want to have one person charging it, another person grabbing the rock, so every time you fire the catapult, you can immediately load the rock right back onto it. So then you can have the quickest time between charging and firing the rocks. Otherwise, you have to charge it, hop off the thing, run over to the rock cart, grab a rock, carry it back over. You don't need to throw it or anything with that. You just literally grab a rock, walk right up to the catapult, and then it'll automatically just get put on top of the catapult as long as it's charged halfway at least, and then you can fire. You might think like, why can't I just charge it a little bit and then fire it? That's because the rock doesn't tend to be put on the catapult if it's not charged at least halfway. When you're trying to load the rocks, and if you have someone nearby to grab the rocks constantly from the cart and bring it to your catapult, is great. If you don't, make sure to charge the catapult halfway. You always have to charge the catapult at least halfway so it stays. Otherwise, the arm of the catapult will just immediately launch forward, and then you have to recharge it back up. So make sure you charge it at least halfway so you can fire the rock. So you can get the rock into the basket of the catapult and then fire it into the enemies. And don't be worried about your team kills, because you will definitely get team kills when you're using the catapult. And it'll take a while till you get used to it. But it's also nice to have, if you have enough people. If you have enough people, make sure you try not to shoot where the enemies are. As long as if you have someone spotting for you, so you know where your teammates are, so you don't accidentally kill your teammates when you're launching catapults, is actually really nice. Like your person loading your catapult with rocks, if they're looking around while you're charging, because when you're charging you don't have the best view of the area of everything. But if they're watching everything for you, it's definitely help you out in getting less team kills. Yes, I was like quite a bit of team kills because I don't know what my teammates were doing, charging all the way up. I mean, I guess they were trying to stop the catapult, but the catapult I was destroying no problem by myself with the catapult. It's best to just use the catapult to destroy a catapult. Like, yeah, I mean, obviously it's pretty easy to just charge at them and kill them and stop them from firing. but I'm quite good at using the catapult, at least on right here. You can see I'm charging it. I don't always charge it. I don't even charge it all the way here. Like, I mean, I think I did a few tries here. If I'm looking, I think I like a few launches were all the way, but that's because I was trying to shoot the catapult that was farther away. But the close one, like right here, you only need to do like half charge, a little bit past half charge, to hit the catapult directly. And then once you destroy the catapult, you just keep firing a little bit farther because the enemies will be spawning and running towards you that way. That's a lot of kills. I mean, I'm sure you can get way more kills than that, but that's honestly the best catapult shot that I've gotten right here. So, like, as you can tell, I'm obviously pretty good at using the catapult. I myself am figuring out where I need to shoot it. Like, yes, I might throw in some team kill ones here because it's bound to happen. You're gonna get plenty of team kills while shooting a damn catapult. Because, well, there's you know, friendly fire in this game. Obviously, it doesn't do as much damage as it does towards enemies, but actually, yeah, it does. It's a catapult. It's just one hits everyone. It's a giant rock, giant explosion, giant AoE, which is why it's my favorite thing to use, because you can get so many kills. It also sucks when you kill a teammate and then they run back and then literally they're smacking you in the back. Usually we tend to kill more enemies than a teammate. Like let's see, sacrifice one teammate for 3 kills. That's pretty good. Or 1 for 1. That's not the best, but hey, I killed an enemy. Did kill an enemy, so that's, I mean, better, right? I mean, I'd say it's better. If at least I killed an enemy while killing the guy, so it can't be too bad. Unless you accidentally just only kill teammates, which then in that case, yikes. Not the best thing to do, but it'll happen sometimes. It'll happen. Especially when you just want to keep firing because you have someone right next to you non-stop loading rocks. Like, you just want to keep firing because you're just non-stop reloading super fast. And then you're just like, I'm going to keep going as long as I can. As long as this guy's giving me rocks, I'm just keep firing. It is so much fun using a catapult. At least I have a ridiculous amount of fun using it. Because, I mean, it's a catapult, and you kill like so many enemies. It's great. So yeah, that's really Blisters are a lot more harder to use, and you definitely gotta get used to using them. They're a lot harder to get used to using because the drop in the game, and like how fast projectiles fire is a little weird. They're a little slow, so like compared to other games, so it's like it takes a little bit to get used to unless you're used to a game that like has projectiles that fire really slow. So unless you're used to that, it's a little difficult to get used to. With blisters and bows and the crossbow doesn't shoot too slow. It's just kind of weird using. Kind of weird. I've gotten used to the bow a little bit because I've used it quite a bit, but this game's not focused on ranged attacks unless you're throwing weapons. Then that's a whole nother case. Yeah, you can launch teammates if you want to launch someone. You can launch like two teammates, I think, and an actual rock. So you can throw like 2 teammates and a rock. The rock will, I believe the rock will hit first, but don't quote me on that because I have no clue. But I know you can launch at least like 2 people and a catapult. Like if you pull all the way back and then people just stand on top of the catapult basket, they can get launched with the rock, and it's just hilarious because they'll go flying all the way across the map. Most of the time they might die if they're low health, at least, because it takes quite a bit of your health when you launch all the way and you hit the freaking ground. You'll lose a big chunk of your health, and you might get stuck on the ground for a bit. So I mean, you will get stuck on the ground for a bit, and enemies might just shoot you or freaking smack you while you're on the ground. So it's not the best thing to do, but sometimes you can land in some cool spots if you use a catapult. You might be able to like launch yourself over a wall or onto a wall if you get launched from a catapult. So I mean, that would be that's like probably the best. So that's the end of the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Turn on notification bells if you want to be notified when I live stream or when I post a video on my YouTube channel. And if you want to see any of my other social medias, they'll all be FireShield_FSHCR. If you want to see my live streams, I'll see you there. And if you want to see maybe a Blister video, I could try to make a Blister video, but maybe I can go like a full range video, like archery with the bow, crossbow, javelins, throwing axes, ballista. Maybe I can do all those in one. And thank you for watching the video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.